Thank you very much, Mika. We're going into EVOS Esports versus Divine Esports, the battle of the esports, Omo. We're looking to see how these two play it out. Coyote's brought out the fizz. He's bringing us a treat. It's day one of the playoffs. What better way to start things off?
I'll be very honest with you here, Grandin. While everyone is so afraid of Coyote's fizz, it has been a bit underwhelming for me so far. So hopefully it's a treat for his team and not for EVOS Esports, as we're gonna see him just go aggressive from the get-go.
Yeah, so maybe here to show us a different performance, but
Hopefully.
at the same time, we've also been wondering how G4 has been performing in the context of this competition. We've been a little bit underwhelmed with G4's performance overall, especially considering how good he was in the summer season. Going into the Sea Champs, it feels like he's not had that same response.
Yeah, definitely, right? And I think the Des touched on this a bit. I think TJ was the first one to bring it up. G4's champion pool has been a little bit of an issue for him. Take a look at this, though.
And to start things
Solo
off,
bolo.
Connects against Tipper, forces to flash away from the ribbon, but that's about it.
Nearly a solo volo, has to flash away, that's always a good start. Tipper only has to expand barrier, and he's gonna be in full control here. I changed
Oh
that.
my goodness, they're turning bad things around.
Cast is
Flash
good.
for flash, and both summoners expanded from both sides, but I think Tipper's gonna come back a little bit stronger.
We have Tipper against Hanex up here. Action in the bot lane as well.
I wouldn't call it quite that much action. It's a trade, it's an exchange, but they're gonna back off.
A bit underwhelmed, right? I kind of expected, given that it's a Vietnamese team, that they wouldn't use the second charge of Battle Dance to back off and you would just keep going. But he does indeed. Keep in mind, this is a winner's bracket first match here. If you lose this one, you do drop to the lower bracket. And correct me if I'm wrong here, but you play against one team.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Loser of this match will go up against one team, and well, that is going to be a tough opponent
Yep.
in the lower bracket. But to be fair, one team has been struggling as well, so pretty decent chance overall, I think.
I'm gonna be honest with you here. Yeah, one team has been struggling, but I still would not want to face them in an elimination match. And we see Veldis, he's just going to every lane, just helping them push it out. He's getting farm as well in the process, getting gold, getting experience, while helping his laners get optimal reset. And we see Veldis, he's just going to every lane, just helping them push it out. He's getting farm as well in the process, getting gold, getting experience, while helping his laners get optimal reset timings. So doing a lot across the board, while Lan, he is just trying to power farm up on this Lee Sin. We've seen what these Vietnamese junglers can do when they scale on Lee Sin. We don't typically think of it as a late game pick, but these guys, they will prove you wrong, right?
We've seen quite an interesting uptake with Len and Veldis, you know, going into this jungle match. Veldis has gone into the lane, soaked out a bit more EXP, so he's a little bit ahead of the curve up against Len. And this is interesting because generally Fiora is not thought of as a jungler, but we've been seeing it rise in the jungle position, especially with teams from the Thai region. So hope we get to see more of this and how this one's going to play it out and impact things. Dragon will come up in the next minute or so, so I'm quite curious how this is going to play out as G4. She's just going to dash away.
Yeah, G4 just gonna get out of dodge there. He's gonna be fine. And I think that if we want to talk about G4, right, I think that what you were talking about just now was pretty accurate, where you have to keep in mind what G4's champion pool has been like, what G4's problems have been the split, right? When we talk about him in Summer Cup, our analysts touch on this as well. What was so good for G4 back then? He could play roamers, he could go all over the map and do a bunch across the map, influence his top lane, that's the big one. He can play TF, pot on top of Veldis when he's going in aggressive. So many things were just working well, were just going right for the side of EVOS. Now with a bit of a meta change, it's gonna be a bit harder for him, and I think that Ahri, this pick will be a great solution to the issue of G4 not being able to influence the map.
Of course, we have seen G4 play that already before. It has had a couple of appearances in the Sea Championships. We'll look to see if he can manage to improve its win rate or improve its performance throughout this competition. Pulling out against Divine Esports, I mean, frankly, you have to have some level of confidence if you're willing to play in this kind of matchup. So let's see what they want to get done. Veldis is going to reset just before the Dragon respawns. It seems EVOS is going to make their way towards the Mountain Drake instead of the Rift Tower. We've seen some priority from both sides before, placed in different areas.
Yeah, both of these teams, they are gonna be walking into setup right now.
But it seems like Divine Esports are the first to get into the pit. Here we have it, EVOS Esports. They're right around the corner. Rich used his ultimate just a few moments earlier, so won't have that going into this Dragon fight. But Divine Esports Well, they're taking their time. They're going to start this one slow. They're actually going to back away. Give EVOS Esports control around the Dragon.
Yeah, this is due to the setup differences on
This is it. They're getting collapsed on. They're jumping on the Cat's in first. 9 jump the water, finds a decent amount of damage. They're going into the back line, looking to take them down.
That's one.
This is that Lee Sin pick they were talking about. They take down Rich, take down Cat Satan, and Coyote's still alive. How can you feel underperformance from this Fizz where he's making things look so good, Omo?
Well, I have to be honest with you here. I don't know why Quetzalcoatl was in front of everyone, face tanking the fish. You have a Fiora who can use the repulse. You have a Gragas who's relatively tanky, but it's Senna who catches the fish? That's just wrong, right? That's like you go fishing and right from the get-go you catch the biggest, most expensive fish you could get. Something clearly is wrong in the setup there for EVOS. I think that this team, even though they got the mid priority first, even though they got into River first, too many things were wrong in terms of setup, in terms of who positions where, and it seems like a misunderstanding of their roles. Tipper, he's trying his best here to defend this turret, but 1-on-3, he might have to give it up.
Yeah, he's going to watch out against this. Dawn Shadow comes across, going to get healed up as well. Here we have it, a knocker coming through from Quay, a little bit more damage from Len's going to find it, a flash forward from Hope as they take down the Darius in the bomb side, but EVOS Esports going to trade in the opposite lane.
They lose the kill, they lose their Baron laner, but they get the first turret thanks to the Rift Herald. That's going to be a bit upsetting for them though, I think, because they... Well, I was going to say they're still going to lose this bot side turret, but look at the rotations from EVOS. This is really good stuff. G4 uses his ability to fast push mid lane as an Ahri with the Orb of Deceptions, gets the reset it, comes down bot lane to catch this wave, while his Dragon lanes rotate to the mid lane, catch the waves there, and then you have Tipper going up to the Baron lane, and everything has evened out. You get the 1-3-1 setup that EVOS were looking for, and this comes down to good usage of their mid priority. Though you got to keep in mind, they are a little bit behind in gold. They got the first turret, but they lost the kills. They lost the Dragon to Divine. So I think Divine, they're still happy about how this game is going.
And a big part of this as well is the gold's been funneled into the right players from Divine Esports, whereas EVOS has had to share and kind of split that localized gold in that first turret. They're looking to maybe take Coyote out here, but he's going to be able to dash away. I mean, it is a Fizz.
It is a Fizz. This was a bit of an
Rabadon's first item Fizz.
Very ambitious play, I would say. I don't really know what the idea behind that was, but it's fine. You know, they need to send Coyote a message that, you know what? You don't get to do this for free, but I think he does, Grandin. Look at his items right now. Death Cap, close to the Lich Bane. He's 1,000 gold up on Ahri. And keep in mind that this is a counter pick. If you throw the Charm the Waters on him, he needs to Spirit Rush away. He needs to use multiple charges to get away from you. And once that is down, you know what's happening the next time you get on top of him.
Oh, absolutely. He's going to jump on you. It's the Predator.
Oh,
it's a small fish, but he has a big bite.
I was trying to think of something about like a big fish in a small pond or something like that, but it really doesn't apply here. He's a big fish in an even bigger pond, and he's looking to eat up EVOS Esports right now. If you look at the solo lanes across the board, Tan X, he's huge as well. Both of the solo laners on Divine, 6,000 plus gold, while EVOS, their solo laners are barely scraping 5,000 gold. It's not looking like a great start for EVOS right now. If the 1-3-1 comes true for Divine, I doubt it's going to be an answer. And teamfight setups, it's going to be so difficult. Quetzalcoatl is not going to get away in.
But I love how aware EVOS Esports were to not overextend the bottom side, especially when they didn't have information. They made sure that Rich and Cassino were far enough away from the turret that he couldn't get dove by Divine Esports. It's a very smart play, and they're very aware of what they're doing. Glenn's going to make his way to the top end, but they're not going to be able to find much more done. Just take the turret and get out.
You know what I rarely say when we talk about Divine? Something that we have touched on before is when the situation calls for it, they really can be disciplined. And that's exactly what we're seeing from them right now. They feel no need to force. When Coyote was taking the bot side turret, that thought.
Oh, they're looking to force onto this one though. Coyote's going to face off against the Grand Challenge. Velda's coming in, classic in G4. Dashes back into the Spirit Rush for the confirmed kill. Now, maybe looking to force a flash away from Cat Satan. Tipper's going to be in the way, blocking Divine.
They got the kill on Coyote, but look at the ultimate statuses right now. 15 seconds on the Dragon. Coyote will be back a little bit late, but EVOS have no ultimates. They cannot contest this.
Well, there we have it. Divine Esports were able to grab quite a number of key ultimates away from EVOS Esports.
Quite a number. That's like 4 out of 5.
That's 4 out of 5. I mean, that's a big number.
It's quite the number. I have to agree with you there.
I don't know how to go past this. Right here we have it. EVOS Esports
wanna fight
trying to
this.
collapse back in. They go into the mid first, trying to get some information, trying to maybe pull this one away,
boy.
but have it. Once again, Koi finds a beautiful engage. It looks like deja vu because I'm seeing the same fight break down from the start
kick.
to finish. Len comes across with a massive amount of damage with the Dragon's Rage. Tan still forces EVOS Esports away.
wants more.
They're watching for the Dragon. The Chanda Waters, the Guppy gonna come up, gonna grab onto Rich. Maybe a little bit more damage might find it, but EVOS Esports huddled together, and Divine has such a difficult way breaking in.
Well, we say that, but look at Tanex right now. Oh, goodness, that is
no,
so cheeky.
They find him there. Tanex dodges away from the charm, and they get the, well, they're picking up the dragon. They get it now.
Yeah, and honestly, Divine Esports, they are one step ahead. They're playing it one step better. They're so aggressive, and they want more.
And once again, looking for this dive. I mean, Rich is coming back in with the ultimate, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Dawning Shadow comes across.
Coyote.
Coyote, he's back on the gray
no.
screen. The 2 kills that EVOS have found have both been on the Fizz, but I'm not sure if that's going to be enough because Divine Esports jump back in. They wait for the cross to come across. Len's going to get caught out, turns golden, but still falls as he tries to dash away. Eventually goes down. Tanek cannot save him.
And Divine, they want more, and there's no such thing as enough. They're just gonna keep going. They got the kills, they got the dragon, and they want to go for a redive, but they took too long because they already took the dragons, reset timers, respawn timers. They were all coming back up for EVOS, and honestly, a bit of over-aggression there for Divine. I knew I shouldn't have started talking about how they can play discipline when they need to, because that's their cue to go wild out, to go crazy, and try to really outplay EVOS, like we've been seeing in most of these dragon fights. And honestly, Kwe, he's been a very instrumental part of that. He's been finding consistently multi-man engages onto the backline of EVOS, and this has been just an insane teamfight performance from Divine. Nothing ridiculous in lane. They're not solo killing you 30 times before laning phase ends. They're just coming to teamfights, setting up well, getting on you, getting the right execution in, and killing your entire team. Great stuff from Divine to start things off.
As expected, you wouldn't expect Divine Esports to solo kill their opponents all so much. I mean, it is still a very strong opponent with EVOS, but the fact is they are able to team fight so well. And like I mentioned earlier, it looks like deja vu. It's the same fight at the same spot. It's Quay jumping into the back and drawing so much attention to himself while the rest of his team is able to offload their damage. And now that Tanex is frankly becoming stronger and stronger, he's 2 items deep, Omo. He's 2 items deep, plus his boots enchantment is completed. He's just looking like a menace, especially as they start playing around these neutral objectives. Well, here we have it once again. EVOS Esports trying to take some control around the neutral objective. They know if they step off Baron, Divine will steal it.
Take a look at where Tipper is standing right now. He has to constantly wander between the dragon lane as well as where his team is. He doesn't dare to walk out. He needs to wait for the wave to come in before he catches it. He knows if he walks into Ton X, he is going to die. So he's trying to find ways to help his team. But it looks like Divine, they might want to dive this right now.
They're watching. They're looking for G4 perhaps.
They're
not staying top of ward, so EVOS don't have quite much information. But Divine will back off. Maybe just go back to the Baron lane, try and clear out the waves, try and set up for the Baron when it's available. But EVOS Esports, I mean, I'm feeling the tension for them. I'm not even playing this game, but I'm feeling the tension because they are trying their best to just hold on here. They find the charm. Maybe this is the call for action as they try and jump on to hope, but won't be able to find much more damage down. G4 is going to go golden as they look to take down Tan X. He's going to have to go to stasis himself, dodges away from the charm, but won't be able to survive as they come in with Tipper leading the fray, leading EVOS Esports into Divine as they take down 3. And now somehow EVOS Esports come ahead in this fight.
I'll tell you how, Grandin. They once again dive too deep. Completely unnecessary. Charm, it's a non-committal form of engage. Cask, it's a non-committal form of engage. EVOS, they are fishing and they get out when they need to. Now they're making mistakes on the side of Divine. And EVOS, they're using their catch com. They're using their non-committal pick to just catch them one after another.
And they're onto the inhibitor turret right now. Len has to do the best that he can to try and prevent this, but it's going to go down either way. Tanex coming back alive soon. EVOS Esports find an ace and break open the mid lane.
And what's going wrong here for Divine, Grandin? What did we say they needed to do? They needed to 1-3-1. EVOS have no answers to that. They keep trying to force a mid lane is the problem. They keep trying to dive. They keep trying to accelerate their leads. Look at this from EVOS right now. They go for non-committal engages, and that's it. The fight is over. It's done. Divine, they're out. They trade 1-for-1 on the alties. You can go back to sidelining. But the problem is they want more. Coyote, something we missed early on is he missed his flash. He whiffed it in the wrong direction when trying to flash over the wall. Missed completely all of his spells. Like I said,
underwhelming Fizz performances. He had a great first fight, but other than that, I think it just encourages them to be a bit too aggressive, and that's very punishing here for Divine. Now, I can tell you, this 5v5 for the Dragon, Grandin, this one is going to spell out the game.
Well, EVOS Esports are the first to get back into the pit. Divine are watching out for this, but look at Hope One. He's far away. He still has to deal with the super minion waves, and EVOS Esports in this time is going to start the Dragon.
Yeah.
Looking like they might want to pick it up first. Yeah, Zion's going to start rotating over first. Coyote is once again looking for this angle to maybe catch Katsei.
This is so good for EVOS because of the super creeps, because Veldus is always the one in front pressuring the waves. Divine know that if we ever commit to the river, EVOS, they're going to run it into our base, and Veldus is going to trap him to end. So they make the right call. They say, we cannot contest this. We have to give it up. We're going to farm up. We're going to regain our gold lead, and we're going to look for the fight another day. But my question is, Grandin, is another day going to come too late? Veldus has hit level 13. He's going to be scary on this Fiora. Picked up a triple in the last fight. We said how Divine, there was no answers to their split push. But now with the items in the pocket of Veldus, 3 completed items, he's the biggest in the game. Bar Tan X, bar Coyote, and I think he can definitely take them on because he is a Fiora. So things are looking a little bit iffy here for Divine.
You look at EVOS, look at Divine. Gold right now looks about even, but what EVOS have is a clear track into the Nexus, into the base of Divine. One misstep, one slip up from Divine means EVOS Esports will walk in and take the Nexus. So if you get aced here, this is disaster for Divine Esports.
Yep.
It's such a bad spot for them to be in, and the waves are constantly crashing into Divine Esports side. Even right now, you take a look in the mid lane, that super minion is gonna make the wave push back towards Divine, and they constantly have to be on alert for it.
And honestly, Gaminism, if you look at how the game state was 5 minutes ago, you cannot tell me that Divine did not completely throw this game away. They had it in their pockets. EVOS, they could not answer side waves. They had to be careful checking river, and now look at them. Now the world is their oyster, and Divine, they're the ones that have to play on the back foot. For Tan X to even touch the bottom wave now, Lan has to be there covering him. Things are looking so difficult for Divine, and they might not be the fastest Baron takers on the side of EVOS, but they definitely have some damage with the Fiora. So you need to be very careful on Divine's side.
You know what, Omo? I'm just gonna keep running with my same theory. The Vietnamese region teams always have to drop the first game of the day because that's they need to get the jitters out. They need to get the solo queue out of them.
Yep.
And from that point on,
they need to have some
2 to
fun.
4,
Let's rephrase that. They
it's
need
a
to have their fun at the start of the day, get it out of their system, get some happy games in, and then they're ready to serious it up. Because if you look at how the first 2 dragons were set up, it was picture perfect from Divide, and then they decided, you know what, we're getting a little bit bored. Let's go dive some turrets.
Absolutely, and they had some good fun moments in that, but would cost Divine a lot of tempo here as EVOS Esports has managed to crawl their way back in, but now they're trapped in the jungle, they're moving together as a 5-man unit. Coyote misses out on the chant the water. This could be disastrous. Divine Esports has back away, but Quay is still going to go for the engage anyway to get the cask off in the back, blocks some of the damage from Divine Esports. They're still chasing after Veldus going to run in onto Len, but he has Guardian Angel, difficult to take him down. EVOS going to go back on the Baron instead.
This is the Baron angle, and they take it so fast. If they have 5 on the Baron, they're not going to make it back here in time. Lan has smite, but he's nowhere to be found.
5,000 left on the Baron. Tan X going to jump over the pit, get into the wall. Coyote as well to play for Trickster, maybe trying to take them one down, but it's unfortunate. Divine Esports won't be able to find it, but he's steal it away anyway. It's down to Coyote to grab the Baron. Play for Trickster, flash, doesn't matter. We'll forgive you for that one. Divine steal it away.
Divine, they steal it away, but they lose 3. 40 seconds on the death timers. Do EVOS want to run it down here? I think they can get rendered.
They're going to run it down. It's 30 seconds left on the death timers. It's only the support in the jungle. There's no way that Divine Esports can prevent this. EVOS Esports might have lost the Baron, but they're still looking for the game. Moving on to the Nexus, flashing forward, gets the upper hand, pulls in 2. And Divine Esports find the charm onto Len, onto the Nexus. There's nothing left. EVOS Esports find the first game win.
And there was nothing we could say there except that Divine, they had the game in their hands, but they